how I ended up with. Hey y'all.
Are we live?
You live.
I'm
Live.
in my pocketbook.
Oh,
And I got barbecue sauce. Got hot sauce in
Barbecue
my bag
sauce.
swag. Barbecue sauce.
Did you already
in
share
my
the
bag.
video, cuz?
No.
It just look like it.
How I look like it when I didn't even touch my phone?
I don't know, man. You know, my junk be tripping, man.
That was 21 hours ago too.
Shit, that was like 21 days ago. I refreshed the junk and it's still not coming up right. Hey, who we got on with us? Anybody?
Charles
Charlie, what's up?
and Wanda.
Hey Rhonda.
What's up, Rhonda?
I
Rhonda,
cannot see the show.
Hey Rhonda.
Sutterthorpe. Sudderth.
Sutter. Oh, okay. What's up, Rhonda?
Hey Rhonda.
Yeah, that's my cousin in North Carolina. Hey,
This
Stu,
cousin
stay
in
tuned
North
with us.
Yo, like and share the video.
Yeah,
for us.
please. Everybody that's on
Oh.
now, if you can like and share
So all
the
of your
video.
friends
Turn over
can
there
see us.
Wi-Fi down there.
It'll be so
I'm
pretty.
thinking like, well, my phone ain't working. All right.
Yo.
Let's try this shit.
Y'all ready? Well, I'm just gonna play the theme music so we can get over here with the theme music. Yeah.
Got Mr. Lee Mosley.
What up, Sonny Mo?
Sonny
What up?
Mo.
Yes, please mute your phones. Put them on stun. If anybody would like to donate to the Get Chuck Another Computer Fund, I'd be more than happy to take donations.
I really do think it's just you. Like,
No, I can't control the little motherfucking spinning right here. It just that's all it do. Like for
we do need another box down here, though. I think that has something to do with it, too.
yeah.
I have to get the baby another box. Another box.
Man.
What are y'all doing? So we're getting ready for the show. He's over here fighting with his computer.
As
I
always.
shared it to the page though.
You
I'm
just shared it?
I can't find. I lost it already.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at the baby.
And that was RGB.
No.
Did Ron already go back?
Yes,
Okay.
he's a punk.
Ah.
No, RGB is really formulating the word daddy.
Huh?
He said daddy. He said Kitty.
Okay. We might have to do it with no music then. Ooh, that's gonna suck.
Sing a song.
Beatbox.
I'm a freestyle.
I was just playing.
I'm a filler. He said.
Hey, you gotta be ready. You gotta be quick on your feet.
And the one and the two.
Man, good tell.
Wah.
We need those sound effects. Where's your sound effects?
I'm just getting everything pulled up, man.
It's gonna do whopping up in this motherfucker.
Wah. Ba boo. Okay, I'm really upset at my computer. Let's see.
I need you to,
All right, no music. If it does come on, you know y'all forgive me. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Y'all ready? Whoa.
no.
Oh, okay. We almost ready. Y'all hang in there with us.
I'm ready.
Anybody else
We
tune in,
ready. We
Felicia?
been waiting on you.
Oh, you said hold up?
No.
Oh, all right. 1, 2, 3. Hey, welcome to this About Time show. I am your co-host, Chuck Beard. I have my 2 illustrious co-hosts with us this evening. Illustrious. We still have, on purpose, I hadn't looked the word up. I'm being defiant in that manner. But I got the queen, Miss Nicole.
Hey y'all.
And then we got the noble, the candy man himself, Anton Birch.
Party people. What it do?
And if you don't know, you have tuned in to the It's About Time show. And before we get started, I'm just gonna tell y'all what the topic is tonight. The topic tonight is Know Thy Enemy. And you know, we're gonna get into what an enemy is, who is an enemy, how do you define an enemy, you know, what do you do, and then who is the biggest enemy for the black community?
Ooh.
Yes. Ooh. All that being said, before I get into my segment, the What the Fuck Chuck segment, I do want to say that you all are now looking at the chair for Precinct 182, District 9, Hamilton County, Tennessee, for the Democratic Party.
Oh.
Yes.
Alderman Beard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alderman Beard.
Yes. I'm on my way.
I hear y'all.
Now break it down.
Don't be
for
calling
us.
nobody Wilhelmina and
Yes.
it's all right, Wilhelmina.
I'm the next Lenny Bruce.
No way.
Alright, all that being said, we're gonna get into my segment, which is called What the Fuck Chuck. If y'all don't watch the show, have not watched the show, never seen the show, never listened to the show, whatever, my segment, I'm always finding crazy stuff on the internet. And this week, in honor of Ishtar, i.e. Easter, Peeps, y'all know what Peeps, y'all know the little marshmallow little thingies? Like, to me, that's the grossest shit ever. I do not like
Yeah, I don't
Peeps.
like
they are
that.
so disgusting.
Like what?
Peeps.
Peeps.
The
The
little
little chicken.
Oh, I don't like that with the
thing.
marshmallows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thingies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they got the little black. Yeah.
Yeah, they got the little black eyes on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the black stuff? Does
It's
anybody know the
brown,
black stuff?
actually. It ain't black.
Okay, well, what is the? That sound like doo
It's
doo.
candy.
What is the brown stuff?
It's candy. You eat them nasty shit.
I'm not eating that, man. I'm sorry. I don't do Peeps. But in honor of Easter, i.e. Ishtar, if you are up on your history, Peeps now comes in assorted flavors with different things, right?
Stomach starting to churn.
Oh, just wait. Just wait. They got Peeps flavored milk now.
Wait a
I'm
minute.
definitely not.
Like
gonna do
milk
that.
you can pour in your.
Yeah, like milk you put in your cereal. They got
It
Peeps
tastes like
milk.
Peeps. What? Why?
I don't know. I have never had it. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I have never had Peeps milk. I probably am gonna venture out and say I'll probably never have Peeps milk. I just want to, put that out there because
I don't think I will. I'm not a milk drinker anyway.
I love milk,
so.
but I ain't drinking no Peeps milk.
Why?
I don't like Peeps. The hell, I'm gonna drink that nasty shit.
Then they got Peeps Oreo filling. They're like, you got the two cookies, and then you got where the cream would be is Peeps flavored Oreo cream now.
Oh no.
They didn't see Oreo getting outrageous.
Yeah, they getting out of hand.
And
Too much.
to top that all off,
You just keep going.
there is a Peeps flavored vodka.
What?
Yeah, they got hangover.
So now we gonna get drunk off some Peeps. Oh, I can see it now. They gonna be soaking the Peeps. No, they can't do that because they marshmallows.
I mean, you could probably soak them in there. You're going to be sick in the mug tomorrow if you soak the
Yeah.
Peeps and Peeps vodka.
All that sweetness in it. Look.
I just don't.
So Peeps for breakfast, Peeps as a snack,
Peeps get you drunk. That
and Peeps
Peeps
as
to
an
get you
after
drunk.
hours drink.
Yeah, you can have Peeps in various different flavors now. Like if they come out with Peeps steak, I'm
It's gonna pay Peeps when they come at you with all them different flavors.
It's gonna be what?
It's gonna be Peep scented. Okay, that's what it's. That's just good and terrible.
That's terrible and terrible.
man, it don't get no terribler than that, man. It's like I saw
You
that.
have to know you stepping into some shit because this.
I saw it. I
You
was
have
like, what
to.
in the hell is who gonna do Peeps flavor? Like seriously, if you drink Peeps vodka the next day, you need one of them little handheld things for your shower so you can, 'cause-
So you
yeah.
rinse
do
it
that to
all
yourself.
off,
Yeah.
rinse it off.
Yeah, you gotta rinse that. You can't just walk around with Peeps.
You
Nah.
should not have to wipe your own ass if you eat like that.
Man. And what's it? No, I'm not going to start answering them questions because I don't really want to know the answer. So if anybody is really a fan of Peeps, you can have Peeps.
Anything.
Yeah, milk, Peeps, Oreos, and you can have Peeps vodka.
And you make
Wow.
my stomach hurt.
Yeah, that ain't.
And that is what the, because I was like, what the, okay, it's
Yeah,
going on the show. Now, anytime I say that during the week, what the,
Yeah.
going on the show.
No. Yeah. No.
So now is the portion of the show that we reserve for the queen herself.
I'm talking about he eased into that what the fuck. Like, I didn't even know that was the what the fuck until after that was the what the fuck.
After last week, I think,
What was last week? What I do last week?
Shh, don't even try to make me remember.
I don't know. What was last week's What the Fuck Chuck?
You did the Taco Bell.
Yeah, that was last week. Taco Bell. Yeah, when you
Taco
get married
Bell
at Taco Bell. Yeah, for $600, and all you get is a couple T-shirts and a Taco Bell bouquet.
they only give you a chalupa.
Nah, you get 12 tacos.
They give you a
You
bouquet
gotta
with the
split them
different,
with your
with the
new wife.
different sauce packs to make a floral arrangement.
That's terrible.
Wow.
They got the Taco
Man.
Bell employees there with bow tie shirts with the Taco Bell logo on it.
Man,
Bow tie
get a
ruffles,
Taco Bell.
t-shirts.
Get a Taco Bell.
And the Cinnabon cake. That's what
Oh,
I look
yeah,
for.
I
That's
do-
what I look
I
for.
do want to try the Cinnabon cake.
They tossing out lettuce instead of rice.
No, my goodness.
Lettuce and shredded cheese.
Yeah. My head be up there with my mouth open. Y'all ain't give me no food.
But we gonna move from the What the Fuck Chuck segment to the Queen segment, which is Give It To 'Em Queen.
Give it to him, Queen. She still needs some music. Golly.
I wish we could use some music because Queen Latifah got one for you too.
All my beat people.
Give it to him.
All my
Queen.
beat people. I need some. I need an intro to my segment. Y'all know I've been slacking on y'all, and I apologize. I told y'all to keep hope alive last week. I hope y'all
Keep
been
hope
doing-
alive.
Man, yeah, you did Jesse Jackson this last week. Personally, I'm a little bit offended still by the whole Jesse Jackson reference. Like,
You still got to keep hope alive. Okay. No, but seriously, with all the distractions that 45 and his crew have been attempting on us, I think I can appreciate how it hasn't been working. At least on my end, it looks like it hasn't really been working. Like, we kind of see through your bullshit at this point. But I just wanted to bring you guys aware of the fact that there's a lot of changes going on, and if you don't think that it's going to affect you, then you need to think differently, because it will, and it could be the smallest things that really has nothing to do with one situation, but it can snowball into that situation. So I want y'all to keep your eyes open. I was doing some research, and as you guys know, that over 2,000 bills have been introduced to Congress. And I'm just going to bring up a couple of them.
To what?
2,000. Over 2,000 bills have been introduced to Congress since he has been in office. One of them would be the H.R. 861. Now, this would be to terminate the Environmental Protection Agency. And that is basically all that it says. There's no details about it. There's no reasoning. There is no plan out how this is going to end. But they're expecting the Environmental Protection Agency to terminate by December 31st, 2018. Here's another one if you're worried about defunding of public schools. This is H.R. 610. That's H.R. 610. This is vouchers for public education. What they are planning to do with this bill is distribute federal funds for elementary and secondary education in the form of vouchers for eligible, keep that key word in mind, students, and to repeal a certain rule relating to nutrition standards in schools.
Based on your keyword, eligible, like who determines who's eligible,
Right.
and then what is
Right.
the eligibility standard?
Right. Again, there's really no details. You know,
And what about the nutrition again?
this is in the form of vouchers for eligible students and to repeal a certain rule relating to nutrition
So they won't
standards
get
in
fat.
schools.
So they can bring out the bull
They're cutting
crap
out free
again.
lunches.
They
Right.
cut out free lunches, but
Free Meals on Wheels. I mean,
Yeah.
come on
but
now.
but
All that
but,
shit
Yeah.
gone.
but that nutrition clause is important because if you notice how they put like snack machines and stuff,
Right.
they like damn a bunch of that,
Right, right,
so they can have junk again.
right.
That's,
So another one, I'm just gonna call out a few, and I'm not gonna do over the 2,000. I'm just gonna call out a few. Another one is HR 899. This is to terminate the Department of Education. Yes,
Yep.
that's what I said. Terminate the Department of Education. This will get rid of the Department of Education by the end of 2018. And Miss Betsy DeVos, she says that she's okay being worked out of a job. Because as you know,
she'll
She'll be in there.
of course, why not? So on this bill, there's no word on how grants, budgets, and staff will be worked out. There's no details about that at all. But they are expecting it to end by the end of
Teachers gonna be
2018.
on vouchers too, huh?
Do you
Right.
have the one in there about the public broadcasting system and all that?
I'm gonna let you bring that up.
No,
I
I
got-
don't know the
Sesame Street
bill on
getting
that
shut down.
system. Yeah.
Yeah, Elmo got
Yeah.
a video about him being out of a job.
Right.
Yeah.
That shit's
Sesame
funny.
Street did
He did.
a video about that
That shit's
shit.
hard.
Yes, as you know that they have cut that funding out. So Elmo has no job. Big Bird, they out of a job now.
They homeless.
Here's another one, HJR 69. This bill will terminate the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service regulations that say you cannot kill certain wildlife for sport rather than for necessity. So basically, this bill will get rid of that law. And basically, that means they can kill whatever, whenever. Just
Shot of existence.
Okay, here's another one. Defund Planned Parenthood. It will prevent any federal funds from going to Planned Parenthood unless they prove none of the funds will go towards providing abortions, except in cases of rape and incest and life-threatening situations. But keep in mind that using federal funds for abortion is already prohibited by law. And this is what is called the Hyde Amendment, okay? Another one is HR 785. This is the National Right to Work. This will weaken the power of the labor unions by prohibiting them and employers from requiring workers to join unions to get or keep jobs. Now, this could cause wages to lower, and it can also cause a greater employment. It can make the employment rate go up.
Unemployment rate.
Unemployment.
After there was no jobs, and he's trying to create jobs. And,
Yeah, he's making it harder to
and,
get
and,
jobs.
and on the slick, unemployment just did start creeping back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's another one, and I'm almost done. HR 83. Big cities like San Francisco, LA, and New York, Chicago, they've all said that they are not going to abide by 45's deportation policies. So what this bill will do will punish all sanctuary cities like LA by stripping all federal funding for at least 1 year.
See, okay, that right there is the most bogus thing I've ever heard.
That's a bully move to me.
I mean, it's a bully move, but like the thing is, like, okay, if you look at LA, Chicago, Houston, New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Miami, you know, all the major cities, like the largest cities, those are where the majority of the income in this country comes from. So if you strip federal funding from that, what you're doing is, in essence, you're weakening the entire economy for the rest of the
For the
country.
rest of the country, exactly.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The last one would be that I wanted to bring up is HR 147. This is Prenatal Non-Discrimination Act. This bill will impose criminal penalties on anyone who performs abortions for a variety of reasons. Any violations or attempted violations could result in fines and or imprisonment up to 5 years. Now this will be a felony charge. Yeah,
Time ain't no joke either.
this is a
They're gonna
felony
lock up all
charge.
the doctors too, huh? Ain't nobody working, ain't no doctors, ain't no teachers,
Yep.
ain't no money for the schools. The economy is weak.
And then people just gonna be having babies.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but okay.
But on the slick side though, all that what you said ties into his budget proposal, which is basically cutting all them programs. And
And
where's all the
strengthening
money going into? To the military.
Right.
Yeah.
So somebody said that's setting us up for the next war.
Right.
Oh, we already damn near at war. We
Yeah.
like last night
North
or night
Korea,
before
right?
last.
Right.
No. Not even North Korea. We just dropped a bomb and killed 230 civilians in the last 48 hours.
Oh,
You can
wow.
go into the Huffington Post and look at that. Like, we dare people to come into
Yeah.
and challenge us. And the thing is, okay, like if you watch all the stuff that's going on, especially like when you see Steve Bannon's quotes and stuff like that, a lot of it has to do with white supremacy. But the thing that they're missing out here is the fact that if you're going to talk about white supremacy, but then the number one contributor to abortions in this country are people of color, i.e. minorities, then you're weakening white supremacy because you're finna have a bunch of minority babies step onto the planet.
Yep.
And then when those motherfuckers grow up, all these Caucasian men who were deciding what to do with women's bodies, when they're deciding what to do, all these people's rights and civil liberties and all that stuff, all these Caucasian men are gonna find themselves completely in the minority.
Yeah.
And that's why they got, I don't know, Steve Bannon alluded to a book called The Camp of Saints. Y'all have to go look at the Young Turks
Camp of
video about
Saints?
it. The Camp of Saints.
Camp
Like,
of Saints.
no, summer camp. But it's a book about basically ethnic cleansing. Yeah, exactly. It's a book about ethnic cleansing, and that's what they keep referring to in regards to like foreign policy and immigration issues.
Oh,
I
wow.
would cleanse him. Paul Ryan,
Yeah.
45.
By the way, shout out to Obamacare.
See you taking my name every week.
I'm sorry.
Well, not really.
Well,
You mean
But-
the
Shout out.
Affordable Care Act? You mean
oh, you want to call it the
that's what
Obamacare?
it is?
Yeah,
Okay, so
not the American Health Care Act.
The only reason is to subsidize
Yep.
people.
The,
So,
the Supreme Court didn't back.
right.
And then, like, they want to act like it was a partisan thing. The most partisan thing that's happened is the American Health Care Act, which is the care.
Did you see-
and the Ryan care
Did you
just
see
got
Ryan
voted down.
hold that up when he was trying to roll it out? It's like you little brown nosed bitch. You talked about the bad.
Yeah.
Back. Now your
All the
head so
motherfuckers.
far up his ass, you don't know what to do. No,
Yeah.
because my nigga, well, are you finished?
no, I'm not finished.
Okay.
One more thing, I just want to bring up the story about the girls that's missing. I've been doing some research. I heard it was a hoax. But then I've also still been, looking into it. If you recall 2 months ago, the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department, the commander of the police department made a pledge, let's find our girls. This is still going on, and evidently it's not getting any better. And from my understanding, the reason that some people are saying it's a hoax, but some people are saying it's real, the people that are saying it's a hoax are saying that these children they weren't abducted, they are just missing, like they're runaways. And so they're saying that it's unfortunate that when a person of color is missing, they're considered as a runaway instead of abducted. And so what I want to say is we need to take this seriously. We need to get back in our communities and start protecting our women, our girls, our babies. You know what I'm saying? And start teaching our boys how to be protectors. because that's falling right now, and it's just crazy as to what's going on. If what is going on in DC is true, then we really need to open our eyes up and start standing up and protecting.
They actually came out with some rules, and I don't know if you saw them on Facebook, but like they're giving them out to the communities in DC, saying if you have an African American child, number one, do not let them go anywhere alone. Number two, do not let them go anywhere without adult supervision. Number three, keep your eyes on them at all times. Number four, if you got a gun, carry that motherfucker. That's basically the rules that they came out with.
Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I wanted to give to y'all today.
All right. If anybody is looking and watching, please,
Like and share.
yeah, go to the
Like,
It's
share.
About Time Show page, Facebook page, and like it, and then also share this video. We're trying to grow our audience so we can get more people to watch the show. All right, now we roll into the Noble Burgess segment, which is my nigga of the week.
Good evening, people. No, this week, as Queen alluded to, and we were talking about 45 and his minions. My nigga of the week are those Republicans that stood up and said, "I'm not going to vote for this bill." That caused it to crash and burn. At least they stood up with the nuts enough to say, "I don't give a damn what my party lines are. I know this bill ain't nothing, and I'm not voting for it."
Right.
Even with the threats coming from 45, if they didn't have the vote done. So those are my nigga of the week, man.
Okay. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all something that's misleading about the demise of Trump Care. What happened was the Koch brothers, however you say their name, came out and said anybody that supports this bill, we will cease to give your campaigns funding.
That's right.
But they said it because they wanted to take more away from people than what Trump Care was actually going to do. So I mean, I'm kind of leery to see what's going to happen in the future because, in all honesty, politics is not about the people anymore. Politics is now becoming about the corporations.
Right.
And in our lifetime, I'm not sure that it's ever been about the people. I feel like it's pretty much always been about the ones the haves and the have-nots. All right. You done with the nigga?
I'm done. That was easy, man.
Okay. All right.
Jimmy
all right.
Holloway is watching.
What up,
Alex
Jimmy?
McKeldon.
What up, cuz?
Boo
What's up,
Wiley,
What's going on,
Tiffany
Alex?
Baker,
Tiffany Baker, what's happening?
Nakia.
Hey. Who?
Chris.
Chris watching.
Chris. Robert Holloway.
What up, Robert?
There you go, Ralph Harden.
Y'all like and share
Yeah,
the
please,
page.
please
like
share.
and share. That way, so when you share it, your friends can see us too. Even
Yeah.
if you don't want to see us, they can
Alex
see
McKeldon
us.
said, "Have you seen any of Steve Bannon's films?"
No.
I have not seen
I don't
any of
wanna
Steve
watch it,
Bannon's
yeah.
films. I mean, I would like to see him just for educational purposes only. But I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna piss me way off. I mean, I've read some of his editorials and comments,
I think
but
they beat him with a Nazi flag jacking off. They love white power.
White power.
White power.
Sorry. I didn't mean, I don't.
Hey, it's all right. Look,
45 and his minions, man.
man, look, this country, they're trying to ruin this country. Like I was reading something that was saying that what they're doing now is setting it up so they can usher in martial law. Like they're trying to provoke people into a revolution. I don't want to get too much into what I'm talking about topic this evening. I got some stuff behind this whole enemy topic that we gonna.
I think it's enough people out there that's not going to let it happen. I think it's too many people are aware.
Dude, I would I to say that, but I also said that I don't think Trump was going to get elected.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I have
true.
once put too much faith in the humanity of the people of this country, and it may not even be deserved at this point. With that being said, Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, so as a result of the election and all of the questioning of thousands of years of civics lessons about the Electoral College, Do you think it's a serious discussion to think that they may actually try to go back and
No,
revamp it or redo it?
no, I don't think so. I mean,
There's been talks about it.
well, the thing about the electoral college is you got to get 65 or 70% of the Senate to agree to amend it. Then you got to get 75% of the House to amend it. Then it has to be passed through the Supreme Court. And with the way that it stands right now, if it, like, let's just say that the way that it is, you got a Republican president, a Republican House, a Republican Senate, and a majority Republican, what's the
House.
no, Supreme Court, majority conservative Supreme Court. With that being said, they're not going to vote against their own interests.
It all depends on how bad Trump fucked this up.
I mean, well,
They're starting to have
They'll
some
rethink some
dissension
things
Yeah.
after
in
this.
the party because of him, man. I mean,
yeah,
that is legit.
yeah. Oh no, it's definitely dissension there. I just feel like with the way that the structure is and what it would take to overturn it, based on who gets in there, it'll never be overturned. Even with the fallacy that we just saw happen, you know, Trump won despite losing the popular vote by over 3 million votes. Like, shit, basically you could have chopped the city of Atlanta out of the voting process. and, you know, they just handed it to somebody. All right.
Get into it. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the poetic segment in on the SoundCloud.
Marcus Riley is watching. Kelly Angel Tony.
What up, Kelly? What's up, Marcus? Appreciate y'all watching.
Like
Ron
and share,
Beard.
like and share.
Big brother Ron, what's up, man? I missed you this weekend when you was in town,
Gluteus
man.
Maximus, what's going on?
Gluteus Maximus.
Michael
Always-
Tony.
Michael Tony,
Michael
yeah,
Tony, hey.
yeah.
He,
Tony,
he liked it, Charity.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
that.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mr. Mike Tony.
yeah. Everybody, if you could, you know, share the video so we can
Tiffany
try and
said,
grow
what's
our
cracking?
audience.
What's cracking
What it
lacking?
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get into the topic, right? And let me cut this down for a second. Last week we talked about know thyself, right? And basically it comes from Sun Tzu, The Art of War. If you haven't read The Art of War, which is by Sun Tzu, it's a 2,000-3,000 year old book that teaches strategies, military strategies for war, right? And one of the main principles in Sun Tzu's book is to know thyself. Another one of the main principles in Sun Tzu's book is to know thy enemy. And there was already, well, you know, I hate to start it off with this, but I don't care. I don't give a shit.
All right.
Go ahead then.
The quote in the book said, in order to know your enemy completely, you must also become your enemy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, what? And I mean, I kind of understand what he's saying. You got to, in some way, shape, or form, emulate how your enemy operates, right? But before we get into, you know, on a community level, how we gonna do it, we gotta first define what an enemy is. So I'm gonna open it up to the panel, or I can start first. How would you define an enemy?
Someone who has no good intention.
Somebody's not looking out for your best interest.
Yeah. Someone who is
Maybe.
intentionally around you with no good intentions for you at all.
You know.
Okay. I would, because, you know, like a lot of times we confuse sport with real life. So like if it's your adversary, that's different to me than an enemy, right?
Your competition.
Yeah, if it's your competition, that's different than an enemy. Where in capitalism, that's not necessarily the same thing. But like, you know, I agree with what y'all said. So basically, I would define an enemy as somebody that, you know, at any given point in time, it doesn't have your best interests at heart, and it's actively seeking to try and bring you down. That's a big part of it to me. They actively seeking to destroy you in some way, shape, or form.
an enemy is personal.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that.
An enemy is personal. Because I can give two shits about what you do.
Right.
Yeah.
Saying, why you worry about what I'm doing? That's, you know what I'm saying? You know, that
I
gets into the
saw
mind of an
a
enemy.
rapper today, and
Yeah.
I can't say his name because I can't remember, but he was on the Breakfast Club, and he was talking about how he used to rob people, and he was talking about the hate in the game is so real. It's so much to where he's hating on the next brother because he got the woman. And he says it's not necessarily he want the woman, it's the fact that he don't think the brother is good enough to have that woman.
Jimmy said the enemy wants you dead.
An enemy wants you dead.
I wouldn't even say dead. I think the enemy wants to see you suffer. Cause like sometimes, you know, you might not even want the person dead. You want to see that person suffer
Right.
as your enemy. So hold on before we go into that. Wayne said the enemy is personal, and I'm asking, how can you tell who your enemy really is? Like, because if it's somebody that's in your circle that's close to you, i.e. a Judas, walk with you, talk with you every day, how do you know who that enemy is?
No.
And then it comes in with what your quote just said. You have to know yourself.
Okay, yes. And I guess, thank God I've never been in that predicament because thankfully the people I have a heightened sense on the haters and all the bull crap. And I know who my close-knit, my down ones are, but I don't share information just with anybody. That's just how I am anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
Tiffany Baker says that you watch them.
That's
Wow.
I saw that.
always got
Yeah.
to look at
I mean,
somebody,
because like
observe them.
I'm an observer, yeah.
a large part of knowing your enemy and understanding your enemy is observation. Yeah, so you gotta be on the lookout at all times. Plus, like if this person is your enemy and you got real friends in your circle and y'all all running together, your real friends are gonna let you know at certain points in time who your enemy is.
I've always had that, like Tantan said, that intuition to know something. I remember being young, y'all, and I was in a situation where I've seen a couple of men coming in and out of my mom's life. You know what I'm saying? And so I would call them out. I'm young now, so I already know better to even open my mouth, period. You know what I'm saying? But I'm calling them out, and then of course it's, you know, rejected. But when the shit go down, it's like, oh shit, she was right. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been blessed, and I thank God for that. Yeah.
Jimmy asked the question, how do you watch them if you're not sure who they are? But I'm saying you
Don't
always
matter.
you gotta be
You always gotta be
watching.
what am I trying to say? You gotta always be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
So
You know, even the people that you keep coming with, man. I'm always looking at
It
somebody.
should get to a certain point. If you're around that person, you should know their ways and their next move. Whether
Right.
it be they your friend you just want to kick it with, you play games with on a regular basis, or whether you go to church with this person every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? If you watch
You know their
enough, if
tendencies
you
and
observe
stuff.
enough, you learn their tendencies
Yeah.
and
But
you learn their ways.
but is that a hater?
No,
Or
it's
is that
not
an
being a
enemy?
hater.
No,
That's being
not
alert.
That's just being alert.
No, I'm talking about to watch that person, you know, that you have. Okay.
No, I'm watching to learn
The person that
about
you got
them.
your eye on.
Well, you probably thinking of a woman, but I'm thinking.
No, I'm talking about like
no, you being alert.
You just observing
If this
how
person
they-
is trying to
what
be
they do,
in my
man.
circle,
Right. I gotta keep my.
you being alert. That's it. Now it might be after 2 or 3 years, your alertness with this certain person might get to a certain level. You know what I'm saying? Well, you're not as high. Your alertness not as high as it used to be. But at the beginning, they in your circle. You better be alert.
Yeah, I gotta know what you about before I let you in.
We got two comments. It's somebody named Leopold Olet, and thank you for watching. I'm not sure who that is. I've never seen the name pop up before.
Leopold.
Thank you for watching Leopold
Hey,
Olet.
Leopold.
But he said you were not aware of the surroundings unless someone gives you notice. And sometimes that's true, sometimes that's not. Sometimes like you can just see things you can see things and hear things. And then, you know, like if you were observing funny behavior, i.e., like you walk in the room, everything gets quiet, and they were talking when you walked in. You know, then it's like, okay, what the fuck is really going on? And then Kelly Sharkley, that's my homegirl in Cross Plains, Tennessee, way out in the country. Yeah.
Hey.
What you play in the comments?
She said, keep my grass cut so low, can't even mow it.
Yep.
That
Can't
way.
even mow, just rake it. Rake it, keep them big rocks up out of there.
Keep the snakes so you can see the snakes.
Yeah.
Jimmy said that you can have an enemy related to you.
Yeah.
Miss Felicia Cotton
Oh,
said
yeah.
That's probably the first one you done had in your life. The first enemy you had in your life was your family.
Yeah.
Wow. Felicia Cotton says that the enemy is a trickster and will use any tactic. Someone is close to you just simply to destroy or harm you.
Yeah.
Miss Duffy just tuned in.
All right,
Still-
hey, Lovey, how you
still-
doing? All right, next question. You know, we talked about the Judases, right? How do you deal with that enemy in your circle once you know that person is your enemy?
See, I'm the type.
Directly.
I'm the type. I'm the vindictive, the slyly vindictive, but I'll start cutting myself off. You know, I might be chilly in my reception or, you know, my greetings and my interaction with them, but you'll be all right.
Yeah. You'll be all right.
I mean, and that's just how I've grown up to be, man. You know, it's all about you. You gotta protect yourself.
In those situations, yeah, you just ease your way, cut yourself away from that person.
Yep.
Now, if they get aggressive, then that's when you become direct. You know what I'm saying? Look at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think how I deal with them, that depends on how much information I've got or like how much shit out of the culture. You know what I'm saying? How much,
I'm cold blooded, man.
like how much bullshit that I have discovered. You know what I'm saying? Like that how much I done figured out, that determines how much, I'm saying, like, how I deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well,
You gotta start thinking,
it's
what do they know?
What I do, it's a long handle spoon.
Man, what they
You know what I'm saying? Like it's a long, because once the trust is gone, that's the hardest thing to ever get back.
That's
Right.
So I deal with them with a long handle spoon. So it's like if I find out you talking shit or doing whatever, then yeah. Sometimes it may be a situation where I gotta confront whoever it is. But other times it's like, okay, yeah, I'm just not even gonna deal with that person. You call me, yeah, we'll talk. I'll be cordial with you, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that you're gonna get any personal information out of me. All right, switching gears just a little bit, right? It's been said that we are our own worst enemy, like on a personal level. I'm not talking about societal level. Now, it's been said that we are our own worst enemy. How true do you feel that statement is?
Very true.
All right, explain why.
Because sometimes we allow our own thoughts and own whatever outside of us to influence what we should be doing and not allow us to do it. You know what I'm saying? Holding us back. And so you know what I'm saying? If we kind of just let some of that go, you know what I'm saying? Then a lot of things that we need to get done in our personal lives can't get done. A lot of your goals can't get done. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how you're scared of your own self. When you really think about it, when you really reverse the situation. You know what I'm saying? I was telling somebody earlier, they've had 4 kids, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, at this point, yeah, you done struggle, but you still alive. You healthy, you got a roof over your head, your babies, they healthy, you know what I'm saying? He ain't failed you yet. So why don't you just keep going? What is your reason for not to keep going? Why not? The question should be, why not keep going? Why not do what you should be doing? Why are you scared of this situation? You know what I'm saying? We just let so much outside get into our head and not let us move forward. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And it all goes back to knowing yourself.
Knowing yourself.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
like I said last week, when you start letting outside influence what you do and come to grips with, shit, they're not paying my bills, they're not doing this, they're not putting food on my table. Instead of trying to keep up with the Joneses, you know what I'm saying? You will be all right in life.
Yep.
Look, I'm gonna say that the statement is false, right? I don't think that we're our own worst enemy. Just by the definition of the enemy that we get that we had right now, we're not actively seeking to destroy ourselves, right?
Maybe not intentionally.
However, well, no, hold on about what I'm gonna say, because like there's this box that gets presented to us that if we live inside this box and we continue to grow inside or continue to move inside this box, our life is gonna be comfortable, right? But when we start moving outside of the box and challenging that comfort zone, that's when I think that what you were talking about comes into play. Like it has to do with fear and with your purpose, right? You can't, because in all honesty, self-preservation is an instinct that is our greatest instinct, right? So we always seek to preserve ourselves, whether it's from a fear-based mentality or whether it's from a purpose-based mentality, right? And I think that
Okay.
in the definition of what we just said as an enemy, I don't think that we actively are trying to kill ourselves. However, we're not actively pursuing the greatest course of success.
But if you're not cognizant, there's all kind of enemies. Pills, or people overusing pills, overdosing on pills, crack and all that. So, in that light, I'll say you can't be your own worst enemy. You're slowly killing yourself. You know it, but you
I get what
subconsciously
you're
don't give a
saying.
shit. But I understand what you're saying, though.
But I think in a way it's an intentional thing. You're not doing it intentionally. Some people just don't know any better. It's sad and unfortunate, and we want them to, but they don't. It just is what it is.
It could have been something like the way they was raised.
It just
Right.
the way they
Yeah,
was
yeah,
raised,
be
the
no way with it.
environment,
And
whatever.
then
What you
a lot of people can't take hardship or life that's thrown at them that takes them down through there. They can't take it, as well as others.
Right.
But the flip side of it is, they
So there's
can
to
because
that
they
also.
deal with it.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying?
With it. They just don't know that they are dealing.
But some people don't have that mental. Some people are weaker to that, where they will fall to substances and stuff to get over. But it's really destroying them. I mean, some people don't have that strength and fortitude to
But a
say.
lot. But everybody got dreams, though, bro. So I mean, is it a fear of failure or is it a fear of success?
I think it's both.
It could be
I
both.
mean, I think part of it is it's the fear of the trappings of success. Because a lot of times when you see successful people, or when we see successful people, because of the way that the news operates, we see people that are operating from a space of, defending themselves and, criminal activity and,
They
just
call it in psychology self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
Some type of self-sabotaging. Yeah.
I mean,
And
They
is it
get to a
because,
certain point where
what?
they sabotage it to where they gotta start at ground zero again.
And then just like you said, it could be from the where they came from.
Yep.
It's a lot of things that could go into contribute to that.
Hold on, I'm gonna read what Roderick Lindsay said. He said, "We know shortcomings and keep our feet." I'm gonna correct his English here. Feet on our own necks. You gotta live with you forever. Make true acknowledgement and peace with you that tears down your self-contained box. And that kind of goes back to what we were talking about last week.
Exactly,
I think
Roderick.
when we're embracing when we're trying to always correct our faults versus embracing our strengths and growing from our strengths, I think that's where the difference comes in. Because if we're operating from a place where we're strong, we have time to work on our faults, and we're not neglecting those. But when we're operating from a place where we're always trying to correct what's wrong, we never seem to get ahead and operate in what we're really good at. So, all that being said,
It's blowing up. Andre Dazzler's on there too.
what's going on,
Andre.
Andre? That's all. How can we defeat the enemy that is within?
Woo!
If we knew that, damn it.
Well, I'm gonna say this: once you really understand what your purpose is, and then once you put faith behind your purpose, fear starts to kind of dissipate.
And loving yourself.
And loving your, I was just
Yeah,
gonna say
what
love,
you
it
love
has to be
yourself,
love.
and then you start walking in your purpose. Then the fear starts to dissipate, and then that, in essence, embraces your strengths and allows you to embrace your strengths. So, in order to truly defeat the enemy from within, number one, we gotta love ourselves, like what Anton said, and then we gotta get rid of the fear, and then we gotta walk in purpose. But if y'all got something else, by all means.
No, I mean that.
I mean,
It was perfectly said.
it sounds like, basically, it's always just gonna be a process.
Yeah.
Because you gotta first find out what your purpose is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Once you get that going, and once
Well,
you
I
kind of
think
get that,
I think loving yourself also opens up what your purpose is.
It does.
Once you truly start loving yourself, because we talked about last week, loving ourselves is actually, learning to embrace our strengths as well. Like it's kind of
And
all
our faults,
encompassing.
yes.
So once you start loving yourself, then actually purpose gets revealed to you, and then it's your choice to either operate in that or try and be scared.
Mm-hmm.
but for the layman who may need a little guidance as to trying to find their purpose, you know what I'm saying, where would they go? You know what I'm saying? Who would they turn to?
I mean,
A lot of times, Pops always used to tell me, you can tell your decisions, like I said, he would always ask me, you know what I'm saying, when I made a decision, I'm saying, who was your counselor?
And then like,
So
I never had counsel. I mean, because
your counselor is who you fuck with. That's
Yeah.
all. That's really
Who
all
is
your
your
counselor is.
influence on your
Who you
decision?
hang around. What
That's
you,
what he
that,
mean.
but
That's
as
your
far as
counsel.
my purpose,
all right,
they
hold-
never influenced me.
Hold on, before they go away, I gotta read these two comments. First, Felicia said there's a struggle between our mind and our instinct, our brain and our heart. We come up with an initial answer to a problem, then overcomplicate the matter and do a complete 180. But it's good to think things through. Miss Duffy said, and this is where we gonna switch gears. This is where we gonna get into it. Said this is such a complex issue.
Right.
We have to look at the overall enemy in our system.
I was just gonna say that, Miss Dudley. I didn't want to
Hold
say
on,
that because I
hold on,
knew it was gonna
hold on.
switch gears.
Always the people in power who put us in the box in the first place.
Exactly.
It's how people have been controlled since the beginning of
I
civilization.
was just gonna say that on the
Speak.
first, on the
Alright.
last question.
Shout out to
So
Stella.
hold on. 'Cause, look, I gotta readjust in my chair here because we finna go to a whole nother level. Alright, so now with that being said, like we've defined what enemy is. We kind of learned how to defeat the enemy within us. Learn how to deal with Judases in our circle. Miss Duffy alluded to the system and the people in power. So we're gonna switch gears and ask the question: what is the biggest enemy to the black community?
The black people.
The
Ourselves.
black community.
The black people.
Hmm.
Because first of all, we our own enemy. Then, like I said, we just out here hating on each other because we don't think the next person is worth having whatever they got. And when I heard that today, I was like, that makes so much sense. I've never heard of it that way. I don't care what I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna try my best to take it. But the reason that I'm taking it is not because I want what you got, it's because I think you're not worth having what
Just
you
don't
got.
want you to have it.
I just don't want you to have it because I don't think you worth it.
Okay. Brother Square, what's your opinion on who is the biggest worst? Who is the biggest enemy of the black
It's
community?
ourselves. I mean, and getting caught up in a false sense of reality. I would say it's that square box up there, that we look at every day. I mean, mostly us.
Okay.
I mean, I can't.
It's the crab mentality.
I can't spin it any other way because we're the only race that won't
But
help
like
each
she
other.
said, that's that system. That's that system.
But we're gonna go back to the famous letter. We've been talking about that all week. As a matter of fact, I was talking about the Wilderness letters to somebody yesterday. They looked at me like they're crazy. I don't know if they really read it, but I was just like, man, it's all systematic, man.
It all is.
I'm gonna give myself. I agree with y'all. I agree with y'all in part. Let me just say it like that. Ralph Hardin said ignorance is the
That's
biggest enemy in the black community. And I have to agree with that answer wholeheartedly. Wait, Miss Duffy. Miss Duffy jumping the gun. We gonna get there, Miss Duffy. I promise you we gonna get there. Alright, so the reason why I don't think black people are our own worst enemy is because there's been a system put in place to devalue us, right? And it doesn't matter, like, okay, at a certain point in a child's life, you see their worth and their value change, right? For the most part. Like if you're looking at the typical young person, their system of values and their system of belief for themselves actually changes, right? And I feel like the measures that have been put in place, i.e. the Willie Lynch letter, is what really is the largest enemy to our community, because when you deprive people of knowledge, when you deprive people of resources, when you keep people in abject poverty, and then you minimize education, i.e. what we just talked about with Betsy DeVos, when you underfund education, what you just talked about with Betsy DeVos, when you do all those things systematically for such a long period of time, it's going to be a few people that rise above, but for the most part, that's what you're promoting, is that crab in the bucket mentality, right? So with that being said, the controllers, the handlers, I feel like are the biggest enemy, because if they let all the information go, i.e. the Vatican, if you want to stretch it out, the Vatican has a library that they won't let people touch, right? Because they don't want people to get the knowledge of God on this planet that they have access to, because they want to keep people controlled. Anytime you want to control people, you control the amount of knowledge that they got. All right, that being said, I read a book called The Complete History of Africans in America, right? In this book, it talked about how the Reconstruction period looked totally different than the period that we're going through right now, right? In the Reconstruction period, what happened is you started seeing poor black people and poor white people have no distinction between one another. And they started joining together and going against the rich people, right? And the real worst enemy in the country is the elite, the 1%. The people that make the decisions, the people that make the control.
The
so
400 people that get
yeah. So what the Caucasians had to do was make it so that the worst thing in the world was to be a black person, or the worst thing in this country was to be a black person. And when they did that, they created this system of racism. That's when you saw blackface come in. That's when you see like the hobos. That's when they were locking black men up because, number one, you didn't have a job, you didn't have a place to sleep, so you sleeping on the street. It's illegal for you to sleep on the street, so we taking droves of black men and black women, black children to jail. Mass incarceration. So that being said, like, that's when they created the division in this country, right? So with that division being created, I think that's where the enemy really comes from. Because like if you look at poor black people, poor white people, if you look at black people, which all of us are pretty much poor, and poor white people, we're all in the same bucket fighting for the same amount. And then like Dr. Claude Anderson said that 85% of the wealth of this country is already taken, i.e. the elitists, the 1%. So everybody else is scrambling for 15%. And in the midst of us scrambling for this 15%, we got our eyes focused on something that is irrelevant, which is racism. Classism is the more relevant topic. All right, next question.
Hold on.
And I'm sorry.
Say, okay. Damn. Hold on. Back up a little bit.
All right.
See, so bad. Felicia Cotton says, struggle between our mind, our instinct, our brain, and our heart.
Yeah, I read that one.
Okay, let's sit down. Let's see, Roger Lindsay said, let's see, crab in the barrel system, alive and well in the black community. Stella, no, not the black people. Look at the white Western system and what it has done to people with darker skin. She said that when we blame our own people, we are fulfilling what the white system wants us to believe. Jimmy Holloway says, we are not deprived. There are public libraries everywhere for us to gain all the knowledge that we want.
Okay.
Only the knowledge they want us to know.
Hold up, Jimmy. Hold on. No. I gotta rebut what Jimmy just said. Yes, there are public libraries. Yes, there's a lot of good information in those libraries. However, when you look at the library system, like if you go back and watch Hidden Colors, in the 60s, we couldn't check out all the books. In the 60s, we couldn't even go to public libraries. We've only had access to that type of information for about 50 years at the most.
Recent history.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the midst of all of that, like, yeah, we have access to certain things, but there are books that they're taking out of the libraries. Like the autobiography of Bobby Seale. You won't find that in any library. The book that I just told you about, The Complete History of Africans in America, you won't find that in any libraries. Like you don't find the autobiography of Malcolm X in any libraries. Or you might find it, but they might have one copy that's always checked out. So
It's like nowadays you gotta dig. And I think it's worth going to dig. And you're right, Jimmy, but you got to understand that what the information that they putting out there is what they want us to know.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want us to know the revolution is not going to be televised.
Exactly. All right. So we finna move to the next question. All right. And we gonna piss some people off. I can't wait to piss some folks off with this question. Woo! All my good church folk out there. Yeah, I know y'all probably gonna hate me after this. Is the church an enemy of the black community?
And we talk about it like that.
When you want to go back to the system, that's how they use the system. That's the
I hate it.
Religion.
You know,
that's how
they
use the
become a
system.
lot of predators now, more so than when it was when we were coming up, when you had genuine preachers and church installations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can find more churches now than anything else. I mean, just anybody can really start a church now.
Anybody.
You know, and how can you really trust that person? Do they really know what they're talking about? You know, are they really out for my best interest in trying to
Anybody
the
can
word?
start a
Anybody.
church now.
You know, if you can have homosexual guys with the first man,
Yes. Running a church.
I'm not gonna be in that church because that Bible no one should be hotter than heat miles, and be sitting up there giving a sermon. You know, I'm just saying. No, I'm not. That's no disrespect to.
Well, okay. Let me say
Damn,
this.
Stella. Hold on. She did. I gotta read what Stella said.
Okay, go ahead.
In relation to you talking about, you know what I'm saying, Jimmy said, you know what I'm saying, go to the library.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Douglas' comment was, if you're not taught to read, you can't go to the library.
True that.
Jimmy is stupid. Jimmy said he gonna start a church and go have Waffle House hours.
All day, all night, never closed, no holiday.
He gonna have communion every day.
It's gonna be drive-through service.
And if you don't know your purpose and you searching for everything, then that may be the church for you.
Right?
Okay, hold
So-
on. Let me answer this question because I'm anxious to answer
That's the
it.
devil.
I feel like, as it is right now in the African American community, that the way that the churches are set up right now is not the way that the church is actually supposed to be. Right? If you go back and you read Acts, when they set up the original New Testament church, that church was one that existed and flourished, right? Where we see the church today is one that's based on a book that has had 156 books taken out of it. So we don't have necessarily complete information. And I am a deacon, but I understand that there's some stuff that's missing. And then number two, you have churches that are not on one accord. They're preaching different doctrines. They're preaching different things. Then you have a lot of them, just to survive, they gotta beg people for money, right? And especially in the black community or in poor
You got
communities.
ATM in churches
Yeah,
nowadays.
in poor communities, you see a lot of poor people giving their last to help their church.
Which is
And-
multi-million-dollar.
And the poor people that are giving their last to help these churches are in destitute situations where the church is not giving back to help these poor people. Well, I shouldn't say not, but in a lot of situations, the church may not even be able to. They're just trying to keep their doors open.
I heard
right?
some churches won't make you sit according to your
tithes,
your
right.
salary,
Church
is a
and all that.
Yeah. So, but I'm just trying to look on the opposite end of the spectrum. So, like, with that being said, the church, yes, it offers hope in the community, but with the church being the largest financial entity in the black community, we should see real change out of the church, and I don't feel like we see real change. Like every weekend, churches in the black community across this country take in like $100 million. Which, if black people are giving $100 million every weekend, why is something not changing in our communities?
Yeah.
Why the building fund still ask for money?
Yeah.
Boy.
You still ain't built the vestibule up.
Yeah.
50 years of the church.
Still got that
Yeah.
rickety stairway
We got
up
our
to
new
the
choir
choir.
robes.
So many fish fries, car
I
washes,
know.
and
The
tithes,
bake
and,
sale,
Yeah.
and love offerings,
the car
Yeah.
washes.
and pastor appreciation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I got a letter on my Instagram today that says Stillman College needs $275,000 to keep its doors open because they've defaulted on some kind of loan from the federal government, right? If black people are giving hundreds of millions of dollars to churches every weekend, why can't they organize and then start funding our own institutions and get out the government's pocket?
Right.
Because think about it, like you got what? It's like 70, well, no, it's like 50 something HBCUs in the country, right? So if you're getting $100 million, that's $2 million every week that you could potentially be putting into the HBCUs. All right, so I'm finna get off my soapbox, but dang, I saw the comment. Oh man,
Rap
read
Harden called it YouTube Baptist Church.
read the comment that Leopold, the last comment that
Leopold, he put up
That's how
there,
about
would you
like
like
to
to know
know?
that from the days of Christ, 68 million Protestants were killed?
Protestants, yeah. All right, so Leopold touched on something because what's happened with the Catholic Church, and I talked about the Catholic Church a little bit ago, and the Vatican and the Vatican Library and all that stuff. So with the Catholic Church, what they did is they took the Bible, fused it with some pagan doctrines, fused it with pagan traditions, got rid of Hebrew traditions and the Hebrew holidays and things like that, and now we get a watered down version of what people call Christianity. When the term Christianity was actually coined by the Roman Empire when they were suppressing the growth of Christianity. Like, it was a derogatory term when it first came out. So, you know, like in the essence of everything, the way that the Catholic Church has gone about structuring the churches that we go to now, yes, it's made it definitely an enemy of the people.
Yeah.
Not just black people.
Well, I mean, I just think the religion itself has always been, that's how they rule. That's how they rule the system. That's how they run the system. Mainly off of religion. I think it's crazy. The church is a business, Dwayne says.
Dwayne Robinson.
Well, hey, I mean, organized religion, not true spirituality, has been and still is the main way people are controlled.
Yep, I agree 1,000%. Miss Duffy said that. I mean, because once you move towards true spirituality, you're actually making moves in the spirit as opposed to moves in the flesh, right? And you know, I don't want to get too religified with the way I'm finna comment, but when you move to true spirituality, you're not being led by carnal forces. You're actually being led by spiritual forces. If you're led by a spiritual force, then that's actually going to be a more loving and a more accepting, a less judgmental and less financial institution. Rod said, that's it. Some churches are based on personal interest, not God's initial purpose of spreading love of the gospel throughout this dying world.
Yeah.
That being said, I got two last questions and then we're going to get on off of here. How do we defeat the enemy within our communities? We talked about, Caucasians and black people, when you're poor, you're pretty much in the same bucket. So, in terms of, because we all black, we not Caucasian, how do we defeat the enemy within the black community? That's a tough question, man. But we gotta ask the tough questions,
I
man.
think we gotta learn how to take the high road instead of the low road for one, and learn what that is. Because just because your enemy comes at you doesn't mean that you got to really go ham. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, it's not always.
So you're saying we gotta use discretion?
Use discretion, of
Okay.
course. Yes, absolutely, always. Because you got to think about yourself at the end of the situation.
Okay.
So definitely use discretion. But I think not always, but some situations your enemy can become, not your enemy. But it has to be an act of love in there, an act of consistency. Because like I said, being an enemy, some people are an enemy and don't know that they're an enemy. And then once you show them another way and they see that this other way is, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then the situation can become better. But I think as far as fighting the enemy within or the enemy itself, it's got to be love and
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
All right. Square, you gonna weigh in?
it's
That's
hard.
a hard question,
It's really
man.
hard.
Because in my perfect world, I want people to see and wake up, but wow, that's a hard. That's why I'm gonna be quiet. It's a hard one.
Yeah.
And I'm not normally speaking. I have something to say about it.
Because it's hard because I think we constantly fight within.
Yeah.
So if I'm fighting within, I can't fight with
We've
you.
been fighting for years.
But if I am fighting with you, it's gonna be a losing battle on both ways because you know what I'm saying. I still ain't fought the one that's within me.
Yeah. Okay.
Jimmy says, I don't think it's about defeating, it's about overcoming.
Yep. And then so
Overcoming.
I'm gonna change the question to how do we overcome the enemy that's within the black community and within poor Caucasian community. All right, and this is my answer right here. I feel like that process is starting to happen, right? Because number one, we live in the information age, right? And then the enemy, the elitists, have raised their head, and it's obvious who the enemy is. Like growing up, it was easier for us to get tricked about who our enemy is because racism doesn't exist, and you can do everything that you put your mind to, which I believe that you can. However, some people have an easier road in doing that. But I'm hopeful about the change because you're starting to see, like with the Black Lives Matters movement, Colin Kaepernick. You're starting to see people stand up. Shannon Sharp. Go ahead.
Maybe this generation and the millennials and these new kids that, like I said, it goes back to not seeing racism and finally seeing it. Maybe they are. Maybe there's awareness. Maybe there's a shake up going on.
Well, I know.
I see it too. I see a shift going on. I really do. Even I think not more so the younger generation, but our generation and the generation above us. I think the generation above us is really doing what they're supposed to be doing, encouraging, which is what's been lacking lately. So I've been seeing a lot of encouragement. I've been seeing a lot of action, and especially with our youth awakened.
Yeah.
They are awakened, and I've seen it. So
Yeah, I mean, but the problem is, and with our parents' generation, they were taught that they got to fight the fight politically, right?
Right.
And we've seen that doesn't work. Then with our generation, it was like, oh, you don't have to fight. You just gotta work to take care of you and your family, which means
It is what it is.
yeah. But we actually started learning how to fight the fight financially, right? So with those two pieces, and then now the new generation has access to information, a lot more information than we had access to, right? So they're starting to fight the fight through information, i.e., you know, all these things being videotaped despite the verdicts in the court and stuff like that. But like what I'm seeing, or what happened in Charlotte with the lady getting choked out in the hair store, they got people going at the store, not allowing people to go into the store because they won't allow people to support this dude who is in the black community choking black women out. So people are starting to take a stand and say, look, our women have value, our men have value, and they're starting to find value within themselves. So all that being said, like, I feel like we're starting to overcome the enemy within, but it's gonna take like what you're saying, the awakening, and then it's gonna take a lack of fear, and then it's gonna take organization, and then it's gonna take, like in Sun Tzu's book, it talked about if your enemy is bigger than you are, which the enemy is, then you as a smaller army have to be precise in the way that you hit, and you have to move because your enemy, the large enemy, is not as mobile as you are. So all that being said, there has to be some organization and there has to be some planning and all that kind of stuff. All right. And this is a tough question, but I'm kind of leery about asking it because we've already been on for about an hour and a half, or about an hour and 15 minutes, and this is going to put us on for at least an hour and a half. But I don't feel like we should skip it though.
Go ahead, brother.
All right. At what point does our enemy cease to be at what point do we stop blaming our enemy as the product of the system, or cease to be the product of the system? At what point do we start blaming ourselves for our changes not occurring?
Now, I mean, I've gotten some awakening in this conversation because as soon as you ask me the question, who is the enemy, I'm an immediate slave. The black man, the black person, you know what I'm saying? We are our own enemy to our own selves, you know what I'm saying? But after this conversation, I can see that it's a systematic thing. I can see that it's a lot of things that we need to, you know what I'm saying, really be awakened to. So, I mean, said
You
Blake.
gotta answer, man. You got any commentary that you want to put on this?
Jimmy said blink, man.
Blink, two blink.
I'm saying we gotta ask these hard questions, man. Cause it's
I mean,
Consistency.
but that's all about somebody knowing themselves. If they can be brutally honest, it goes all back to that. You know,
I think,
if
yeah,
you
the
can
whole,
start holding
all of
yourself
these
accountable.
questions lead to within
You know,
yourself.
Yeah,
Self-accountability. Yeah, and you have to do it at some point. So
I mean,
why, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And why not do it? You ain't got to do it in front of everybody.
I mean,
You can do it behind closed doors.
People question why I'm a part of the organization I am. I get a lot of flack, but it's about helping, making people be invisible, seeing a smile on the child's face, just knowing that they gave back. It did something
Yeah.
positive for the community.
yeah.
You know, I can't take this with me, but while I'm here, let me leave a lasting impression. Let me
Yeah.
give my son something to look up to. Oh, my dad was this and this and this and this. Oh, your dad was this.
Yeah.
Talk about me in a good light, especially for my youngest. That is an impression that will last a long time.
Yeah, much longer.
You know?
And then, okay.
I mean, you can't keep blaming. I think human nature, and I'm sorry,
Go ahead, go
but
ahead.
human nature, we want to blame somebody else always anyway for something anyway. But you gotta at some point stop doing that. You gotta stop blaming everybody else at some point and start
You
looking
make
within yourself.
decisions on your own. And
Exactly.
you keep yourself out of certain situations. If you know, put yourself in cognitive.
Especially, I noticed that especially where I work, a lot of situations that we get calls on, they put themselves in. But you mad at me. Why are you mad at me? I didn't put yourself in this situation.
Because they gotta find somebody
I didn't put a gun to your head when you put yourself in this situation. You made the decision. But because it didn't work out the way that you thought it was going to work out, or maybe the way that you were told that it was going to work out, and because you really didn't pay attention to details, now you mad at me.
I hear what you're saying. I've been there.
You
Done that.
can't be mad at me. At some point, you got to take accountability. At some point, and I think it's now. It has to be now.
So okay, and to answer your question, to answer my question, shit, when nobody else question. Like once we start, when do we start taking the blame off the system and put the blame on us? I think wording the question is kind of a trick question. It's not necessarily that we blaming the system and then we're blaming us. I think, and that's what you do when you're in an immature state, right? Once you reach a mature state, what you do is you recognize who the enemy is. You know what the enemy is going to do, and then you, as a mature individual, take steps to start correcting those actions that the enemy is taking against us. So it's about maturity. Like, if you see what's wrong, go out and try and help fix what's wrong.
Right.
You know, whatever way, shape, or form it is. And a lot of times we define things just monetarily. We got to get away from just defining things based on money, right? If we start defining things based on growth, change, opportunity, you know, if we start defining things based on that, then I feel like we won't be as discouraged, and then we'll also see a lot better results, and then our own definition of success and our own maturation process is going to increase. All right, y'all got any other questions? Comments?
I was waiting on the question, do you keep your enemies close? And
Yep.
Do you think that I was waiting on that question.
Man, I want them niggas to get the hell on.
But you-
But sometimes I feel like you do. You got to keep them close.
But I said with Jimmy, actually, you know what I'm saying, like, touched on that, like way back. He basically said you got him. He said something to the point of saying, gotta keep him close, so you keep your eye on him.
So you keep your eye on right.
That-
Right. I don't want you to get the hell on, because if you still got the ill will intention
If they go
on
back
me,
to that observation,
I
of
want to
knowing
see
people
what it is, and I
when
want
they
to see
come
when it's
around
coming.
me. Yeah,
I want to see when this shit coming.
yeah. Instead
If
of
I got
being
my eye on you,
surprised.
I know when it's coming. If I ain't got my eye on you, I don't know when this shit coming. Yeah.
All right, anybody else got some comment? I'm done. I've
I'm gonna
ranted.
shut the hell up.
I've ranted my little heart out this evening.
Oh, thank y'all for watching.
yeah, we
Thank you,
appreciate
everybody.
y'all
We was
for
up to
watching.
like 21 viewers at one time. That's
what's
good
up.
for us.
Appreciate
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
watching, man.
And then like,
Please like and share, like
Yeah.
and share, like and share.
and in case you don't know, if y'all still on, you know, we come on at like 8-ish.
Ish.
Yeah,
CP
keep in
CP
mind
time.
ish. It's more ish than it is
We
8.
might need to change to like 8:30. I don't know.
See, that ish be the enemy.
Yes, it's
That's
that
the
ish
enemy.
right
That
there.
ish be the enemy.
But,
Jesus.
we're gonna go ahead and do shout outs. So Queen, cousin, you got any shout outs this evening?
Shout out to my employer. I still got a job.
They can give you that old
The first and the
45 deal.
Hey,
You're fired.
What's that, the 1st and the 15th Thanksgiving?
The first and the 15th. Shout out to my check. It ain't that much, but I got one. Shit. Shout out to the boys.
all right.
They are both upstairs. One of them has recuperated from his knee. He's doing very well. He just has some, like, I think he said tissue scarring.
Yeah.
So he's doing good. He's walking on and everything, so he's good. That's Quinn, by the way. Shout out to Chris too.
Yes. Yes.
Love you guys. Thank you for watching.
Squad, brother Squad, you got some shout outs?
Always RGB. Dead is here. And then always to all the people out there that's making another positive week. You made it this far. God let you wake up this morning.
Yeah.
Pray that He'll let you wake up tomorrow to start another week. Kiss your family, kiss your kids. And I'm out.
Hide your wife.
Hide your kids.
I ain't seen that y'all go.
So I'm gonna do my shout outs.
Don't hide.
First and foremost, got to shout out Sean Daniels, Menlo Park Grocery Store. If you're in the Brainerd area, go check him out. Buy something, even if it's just $1.
buy
Bring
some
penny
Brillo.
candy or something, you know, man.
Yeah,
Bring
then
back
Some
them
penny candy.
got to shout out JL Studio, John Lindsay, best
Shout out
tattoo
to
artist in the
John.
Chattanooga area.
Yeah.
Got to shout out Royal Transportation, Brian Allen Sr.
I need a ride.
Yeah, if you need a ride, call them. Got to shout out the Urban Voice.
Urban Voice.
Yes.
Shout
Mr. Hopper.
Yeah, if you have not liked the Urban Voices Facebook page, please go out and
I'm
like
sorry,
it.
Mr.
And,
Harper. Every time I hear that name, I think Harpo.
don't beat
You
me.
told Hopper
Why you
to
tell
Hopper.
Hopper to beat me?
Why you tell Harpo? Been fighting all my life.
And then I got to shout out Jimmy Holloway with Ace Lawn Care
Shout out
Services.
to Jimmy.
He came over here, hooked the yard up this
Jimmy.
Thank
week.
you, Jimmy.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Jimmy. All that being said,
Oh, shout out to the music in the background.
Right.
yeah.
On loop?
On Luke.
Yeah, I did that this week because I was like, man, we gotta have something.
Right. That was. I hope y'all like it. Please like and share. Please like and
Please
share
like and
because
share.
when you share it, your friends can see it. We're not friends. Your friends can see it and make
Maybe
them
they
like
like
the show. And if you got any feedback, just let us know. You want to talk about something? Let
Yeah.
us know.
You got any ideas about topics?
ideas. If you got a beat for my segment, I need one. It's Queen.
Alex said he owned it, so we're gonna see if he
Oh
comes through on
yeah.
his word.
Cuz, give me cuz. I got you.
We don't need
Alright.
no Jerry Springer ass topics though.
After
You know what I'm
party.
saying?
After party in the garage.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright, so that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna close out the show. Alright, and I'm gonna quote Sun Tzu since we've been talking about the art of war. In the book it says, it is said that if you know your enemies and know yourself, you will not be imperiled in 100 battles. Meaning that you will have no losses. If you do not know your enemy and do not know yourself, you will be imperiled in every single battle. So, as of right now, everybody that's listening, everybody that's watching, first of all, thank you. But it's imperative that we grow to love ourselves and we know ourselves, right? And it's imperative that we start walking in our strengths as opposed to always trying to be on the lookout for our weaknesses. Because it's easy to fall into the trap what corporate America sets when they, constantly nitpick at you and tell you what you're doing wrong and not celebrating what you're doing right. So embrace your strengths and grow from those. In terms of your enemy, like if your enemy is right here within you, once you start embracing your strengths and start leaving that fear behind, you're actually going to start seeing your enemy scatter because you just cut the lights on. Now, in terms of the enemy that is outside of you, the enemy that we as a community fight every day, it's important for you to give. And the biggest thing that you can do is give. It don't matter if it's money, it don't matter if it's your time, if it's your energy, if it's your effort, it's whatever it is. And you'll be surprised at how big of an impact you can have just by giving your time. It don't matter if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 hours, or 50 hours a week. Make it a point to give. That note, we out.
Yeah, bye y'all. Peace. Thank you.
Hallelujah.
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 Jazz. Oh, dang.
We had a bunch of people watching. Y'all share, like and share.
Share, like.
and
Oh,
share.
we didn't play the poetic segment. Hold on. Let me. I'm just gonna play it while we still got the Facebook Live up because I told Arnetta that I was gonna do it.
You told me you're gonna do it.
Those are
I'll do it.
You
He
told me
didn't
you're
do
gonna do it. All right, you're gonna do it.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
beat him.
'cause
I'm
I
gonna
didn't-
beat
I
him
didn't
with his
wanna-
hand cracked wide open.
I didn't want to, stop the show.
It was a good show. Good show.
Hercules, Hercules.
Is you hungry?
Man, that nigga died. I ain't mad at him.
The
Square.
chicken was good, y'all.
It ain't but like 2 pieces left.
You
For
get the
real?
chicken from.
Man, your boys went through. I maybe a little more than 2, but I thought maybe 5 or 6.
It was about 10 pieces in there.
Where you get the chicken from, my fool?
And I went to the steaky store.
Chris working at the chicken house. We should be getting chicken for free.
And I was mad because he was I couldn't get him to cut the chicken.
That's your job. You supposed to cut the chicken.
You ever seen
I went and got some
leg.
leg quarters at UFO, UGO.
He said,
I don't know if you
UFO.
You-
You got some alien chickens? Is that what the fuck?
I was wondering why they were so big and so cheap. I mean, that's what churches get their chicken from.
Hey, we appreciate y'all
And
for
I
watching,
seasoned them
man.
up real good.
Oh, thank
y'all.
you, Kelly. Kelly, we do this every weekend. So, like it, share it, go to the Facebook
Thank you,
page.
Kelly.
Appreciate that, Jimmy. Appreciate that, Roderick. I said good show,
Tony,
man.
thank you for
Thank y'all
watching.
for
Like
hanging
and
in
share the
there.
video. We're done now. I mean, you can go back and watch it once I post. Well, once
I was
we
trying to
post
get the
it.
poetic segment to play, but it's
We'll have to get you next
my
time.
computer again.
Sound like that ish being the enemy again there, sir.
Man, ain't that
But look, I took that chicken and I was trying to cut the
She
leg
excited
quarters.
about this
I
chicken.
am. It is so good, y'all.
Hey, Felicia, you go ahead and cut it.
She has a poem about